Welcome into prep time. The timestamps, if you want to go straight to the power selection, are in the comments and the other place. Why in both places? I'm not sure. Well, actually, I am sure it's because I like it. I just don't know why I like it. I think I just like commenting. Not like in general, just, I guess, commenting the timestamps. Feels like a little ritual. I'm not even big on rituals. Maybe I should be. This feels like morning. It is the morning for me, but it feels like morning. Okay, I think there's a message in the collective, like, about rituals or something of like an act that feels like you want to repeat said act. I really heard the word Pete or the name Pete then. Is there a Pete here? Are there many Petes here? Hello. Candle. It's interesting, I'm only noticing now, the first crystal that I saw in my mind's eye to use for the power selection was this guy, this amethyst, which surprisingly I feel like he likes to be in readings more than I would expect. He's not like a big one for me to connect with on his own, but I love him in readings. Or maybe just he loves himself in readings. But yeah, he was the first one, but he's pile 4. And I'm very curious for pile 3 because pile 3 like jumped out of my hand and fell onto the floor. And that made me think, oh, it's not wanting to be used, but then I had an epiphany. And I was like, wait, it does want to be used. I was trying to find a cool way of expressing that. Sometimes the coolest way is the simplest way. Even with that was like, I was trying to find another word other than simple. Now that I've lit my candle and put it in a place where you cannot see, we shall begin, I think. Begin getting ads. Cards. That's what they're called. Yup. Okay, so pile 1, the pink dino. Cute dino. He's looking backwards. Not quite backwards, like underneath. He's trying to dig. Are they like digging dinosaurs? Oh, digging dinosaurs. Didn't think I was gonna want to come out then. Do we put the crystals on top? I think below. Pile, let's put him over there. Pile 2. This guy, he came out first. Pones. Pile 2 is quiet. They don't want to be spoken about, but it would not surprise me if they get real loud in the pile. They might just be selective. I looked at 4 when I said that. Pile 3. You know what? I'm not gonna give you all 3 this time. Usually I would. But this time I want to make pile 3 choose. Go on then. Which one do you want? This one. Cecilia. It's all wonky. I looked at 4 again. Pile 4. Cecilia right now is looking orange, like very orange, like a cat to me. Yui. Hey, and Yui was even the one on top, which just felt like 4 is a significant guy. I feel like there's something about there being open space at the bottom too. Don't know what. Let's put these back. What's that song? Baby Got Back? Is that Justin Timberlake? I didn't hear the song, I just literally heard those words exactly. Okay. Welcome in, Power Selection. Weirdly, I'm also going to do a collective, but it will probably be small and after this. So, pile number 1 is Lifeline with a pink cute dinosaur who is face downwards digging. See, downwards digging. Pile 2 is Rapunzel with this tiny green, maybe aventurine, maybe not, since he wanted to jump out then. Or maybe the jumping out was the yes. No, I feel like for pile 2, the jumping is a no. However, this moves me along to pile number 3, who's jumping out with a yes. Jumping out with a yes is what my mouth wanted to say then. But I was trying to say jumping out was. Jumping out with a yes is Cecilia. And pile 4 is an amethyst. I want to say broken necklace, or like, I want to give it a something. Amethyst necklace thing with Yui. I also wanted to call her Yui Sensei. She's a student, not a teacher. Or is she? Okay, those are your piles. See you at the collective, or see you there, or both. Or never, if you're like, hey, actually, none of these feel like they fit. But don't be fooled. If it's none, maybe it's actually all. But that would be a very different energy, wouldn't it? Ah, my incense. It's going wild. I'm just lighting it more. I want to blow because I dropped some of the incense on the table. But if I blow on where that incense is on the table, I'll also blow. Wait, that's a really easy solution. I was gonna say, if I blow there, then all the stuff from inside of the shell will get blown everywhere too. Simple solution was moving the shell. I'm ingenious. Okay, that's making me want to see if a raccoon card will come through. Ah! I was gonna use the pile. What's this? I called it the pile selection yesterday. I almost wrote that, like, I kept calling it pile selection, the collective, in the in the description box. I almost said that, but I didn't. Anyway, yeah, the collective energy feels more up now. Maybe I'll begin it now. Welcome in, Pile Collective, if you are joining me here. I don't know when I'll put the timestamp. Probably here. Okay, so we're gonna get some animal cards as well as sacred geometry cards. Start with sacred geometry since that's what I felt like first. There could be something about the thing you feel like doing first only gets like reminded to do after you first get the impulse to do something larger or something more out of the box, because I felt like doing these animal cards from a random thing I said, and then that's what got me to kind of remember, hey, actually we're doing sacred geometry cards. So heart alchemy, I love that combo. I'm not going to read them. We might read them in a bit, but to start with, I'm just going to put them there. Numbers 4 and 8, and beneath is 3. Why did I want to say, hey, another 3? So those numbers could be significant. Let me get my number deck out, actually. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Why did I think that 3 was in the middle of 4 and 8? Whoa, wait. For a second then, when I first thought that, why did I think 3 was between 4 and 8? I was thinking that it was, but it was 5. So it wasn't like right in the middle. But it actually is before 4. I don't think I've ever experienced that with numbers before. Hey, before. Okay. Hey, look, 3 again. Three, 4, and 8. That made me think of FIFO 5 thumb. Is that even what it is? I think so. 19. So 1 and 44. I was listening to music on repeat this morning, and so that song is still, or some of those songs are still in my head. So I have to like section my mind out like that. That's just me. Has not to do with the reading. Sometimes my stuff can be to do with the readings, but not this time. I don't feel that. So there's something you're sectioning. That part was for the reading, because I didn't need to express that. There's a lot of jumbled energy in this collective. Anyway, so we have 3/21, 7, 3/111, 19/1, and 44/8. Okay. And then at the back of the deck is 74, which is 2. Not seeing anything from that yet, but I'll leave them there. Ah! Actually, we'll take them. We'll take them. I'll take them. Have you bid on something you're just about to win? You maybe needed to like raise your price to get it, but you still won it. Yeah, maybe you didn't even expect to want to raise your price for it, but then you ended up doing it and it paid off well. Higher Calling with Lion, Lynx with Keeper of Secrets, Coyote with Revealer of Truth, and I actually want to say Revealer of Truth with Coyote, and Dragonfly with Magic. See if we can fit them in more. I like how the Lion Higher Calling comes like in its throne. It feels very Leonian, like it yeah, I don't know how to express that more. Okay, is that in? That's in shop. Okay, let's have a look, shall we? It is giving off that same message again of like secondary is actually the primary, because like the same way I said the deck that you wanted to use got like shown to you through another deck, and this is the second card that came out, or that I showed. The Lynx was the first one, but this is like second best. This is the runner-up. The primary one is the second one. Even though I'm saying that, this is even fourth. And there's also another thing about this being the collective reading still, and in the pile selection, the fourth pile was somewhat of a significant one. It stood out. and the fourth card here is also standing out. So the number 4, there really could be something about, well, it's not 4, it might be really hard for you to be differentiating. Okay. You're listening to, like, the sound of your own transformation. You're listening to the sound of that which you've passed by, it feels like. That which was opportunity to you that you said no to. That which you didn't choose. That you could have, but it didn't live up to your ideas of your personal standards or your personal desires for energy to align with in your life. There's a sense that you have chosen to jump onto a path that feels more right for you. That's kind of what this feels like. It feels like you're currently in the process of, like, managing parts of your energy, parts of your life that all have synchronicity and all show you in different ways how what you're really wanting is something on a pedestal. There could be a lot that's going on in your life that's showing you, like, areas where you're not being valued, or the areas that make you feel like you aren't being shown the way you want to go. Things that maybe are disappointing, or things that don't go the way you wanted them to go. Or simply not even if it was something that you had hoped for or looked for potential or future with, but it simply didn't match up to something you want. Everything seems like it's flowing in the way it should, and yet it's all pointing to something very different. It's pointing to an elevated feeling, an elevated sense of self. And this thing that you're really being drawn to, the energy of the heart that you're being asked to expand, feels like it's the focus, but like the back focus. It's almost like, if I could, this reading would be more 3D, and this would all be at the lower level. It would be the core, the center. It would be the undercurrent, and then these would be what's kind of going on above. If it resonates, there could be secrets that are being kept from you, or things feel like they're shifty, or like they're not showing their full cards. There's like an aura of mystery, or an aura of, like, uncatchability, but not in a sense of like high value, but in a sense of like inauthenticity. So anything that you're feeling like you can't catch may be pointing you to things that actually your soul does not want to catch, or it would not be benefit to catch. Take that as it resonates, because I can also see this, like, you could slightly see that about the path forwards that you do feel so drawn to. But I actually want to say, I think it's clearer. I think it's quite clear to you what you want to be doing with your time, or where you want to be pouring your energy, and what you want to be receiving energy poured back into you from. And it doesn't have to be that you know specifically in your mind what, but I think it's an overall essence of royalty that you feel like carrying, like, within your body, within your own aura. So you may be noticing lots of things falling away for you, or simply, like, they could be doing the opposite. They could be, like, way up in your face, asking to be addressed. So it seems like you've got a lot on your plate in one area, which is all then, in some respect, either falling away to reveal the clean, renewed heart of royalty, let's say, of that higher calling, or, and I want to say pride also, of your pride, as in your collective, your loved ones. It's the sense of value. And so either it's like they're falling away to reveal said value, or it's all just like random bits of your life or self pointing you towards your heart, your value. Okay, that's where I'm gonna leave the collective. So, see you at your piles if I do, and if you're leaving me here, I love you. Bye bye. This incense, the chunky one, it always like the chunky one. Just if you've seen my other videos, like the previous ones where I have mentioned the chunky incense, he always like goes out quickly. That could be a part of the things that you know aren't for you. If the flame like diminishes when you're not like actively fixing it, let's say. Okay. I kind of want to do more numbers for the piles, but are to come. Welcome in, pile 1. There's something about like jumping and playing. Like I want to put the dinosaur. I kind of wanted to say the dinosaur of your heart on the lifelines like buddy. I'm gonna say that this is like a battery that charges your heart through playing. It's like you're operating in a place, in an area that is renewing you. I feel like this is a focus on yourself, but we'll see as the reading goes on who could be involved or what could be involved. Yeah, I feel like this is drawing me to higher realms, but also lower realms. What do you do? 18 is the first card for you. I don't think I've ever thought of that, surprisingly, but I'm thinking of 18 being the typical age that humans in these days see as going from a child to an adult. And the number 9. Oh yeah, and 18 is 9 too. You're closing a cycle of sorts, and I think that you're being asked to give yourself lots of leeway to have, I want to say, like, have your soul expressed in the way that it wants to naturally. I think that it's like, okay, I'm seeing a bit of an image, so I'm going to, we have 17 also, which comes before 18. Makes me think that you've been progressing. It's like this was the back of the deck, but you're showing yourself as 18, which is the next thing, so the next big thing. So I feel like there's movement going on. There's expansion, progression, shifts that you have brought on yourself. I heard that, like, you've brought this on yourself. Where are we? I wanted to use the pink pen for you too. So it's something about like a lightness. So the image I was getting was, say you only think that you need so much rest, but it's not really so much rest, it's like this amount of boundary. And you know that like there's a circle that you're going to be changing into, and it's like it will need like this amount of boundary, and you don't know where around it's going to be. So instead of feeling like you're trying to like expand your aura to be like around the place that you think it will be, you're being called to give yourself loads and loads of leeway, or even loads and loads of leeway. So you can naturally fall into an energy that fits for you. It's giving yourself ample room for where you could go next, where your energy might want to settle next. It's not a time of being strict with yourself, it's a time of really allowing yourself to flourish in a way that you haven't seen before. It's like you might have seen this before, but there's a sense of, like, before it might have been you looking at other people going through this. I'm getting one example of if you could be going through menopause or just about to be, or it's like you've begun having symptoms. I don't really know how like black and white the transition of that is. I feel like it would be more spread out than this example is coming through with, but it's giving that this is something that you've seen other people experience in some degree, and it has to do with caring for oneself more diligently. Yeah, okay. Or more fiercely. You may even be feeling like you're getting to rest now because of something you've done, or like you have proof of why you can rest. Some of you may have recently been like hospitalized, or you have been diagnosed with something, or there's like a reason why you feel like you're able to rest more. And I had that small message of saying like you brought this on yourself, like someone in your vicinity. Don't take this if it doesn't resonate, but some of you, it might be really clarifying to hear that. Yeah, some people, or someone, it feels like someone in particular. I was kind of getting like a fatherly figure, so yeah, so take that if that's for you. But what was that with that? A sense of you've brought this on yourself, in that some people could be seeing that the reason why you're feeling depleted, or the reason why you hurt yourself in some way and now need extra care, was like from a particular cause. I'm not getting that specifically. Okay, let's get more on this. It's interesting. It's like giving an invitation to slacken your boundaries, but also like firmen your boundaries. It's like having the boundary of being nurturing with yourself, of not being so strict. The strictness of not being so strict. And I was getting that small message at the start, but in the pile selection part, of the dinosaur digging. And it felt like it was digging like a place to rest, like a home for the night kind of thing. You also just may be about to... I feel like this is more about the past. It's like because of something you did, like for example overworking or doing something crazy, or so many different reasons, because of something you did, it's now requiring extra care for you. You're now requiring extra care. And I think it might have you realize some things. Maybe about how you want to be treated, or maybe about who is looking out for you. Jackal. This also could be that you've lost someone. Jackal makes me think of Anubis and gravestones. Splitting to polar bear and magpie. It's not giving like a full-on death, though take that if it resonates, and this is like you're grieving and needing to give yourself more space for for having lost someone, but I think this is more of like a smaller death, like a death within life. Not big deaths aren't death within life, but a death within the same body. A small death. Okay, let's use tarot. I think this is like softening your eyes. I feel like you are feeling gentler with yourself, but I actually kind of feel like this is more like the gentleness is being extended to others. Like you have a softer gaze now. A more forgiving gaze, perhaps. For some of you, you're understanding why others moved the way they did, or you're simply allowing yourself to process the feelings that come up due to perhaps children leaving the nest, or that could totally be this circumstance. It's like you have more time, more energy, and so where do you put that? And giving yourself more space, perhaps that was even like to explore, because I was kind of getting, wasn't I with the playing, but the like heart playing on the healer device thing, so like even an example of like experimenting with what you'd consider hobbies, or maybe if you always cooked the kind of food that your children liked, finding out maybe what your personal meal style, or like the way you want to meal prep for yourself, or maybe yourself and your partner, or there's like a shift, there's a big shift, and you're discovering who you are now, or you're discovering what you want to do after this like initial rest up phase. Okay, cards for pile 1. Either way, that does feel like which is interesting. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles. This is like a very motherly figure, and it's feeling like self-sufficient, focus on self-care. Self-care with how you want your life to look going forwards. Like, what needs do you have? For some of you, you might not see them as needs, you might just see them more as personality traits, or bodily functions, or desires. I do get for a lot of you that you're feeling it in your body though. Or it's like tangible actions. Okay, we have Page of Pentacles. Yeah, it's experimenting with the physical. It's experimenting with what you want to create, what you want your life to look like practically. It feels like mundane things, or I think it's a lot of mundane things which then add up to something like an overall complete life 180. But it doesn't begin like, it doesn't become a 180 overnight. It feels like it's a slow and steady process of looking at lots of different areas and wondering how you want to maneuver through them now. Going back to that, like health issues or health difficulties, there's that sense of like, if you've now got extra I just got the image of someone now who's in a wheelchair, so it's like there's lots of different life changes that come with that. Yeah, it's like you're getting a bird's eye view, but it's through all the small, what's the opposite of bird's eye view? like a mouse view. And I think you're tapping more into your gentler side to find out what feels right for you. You may be listening less to others, or you may be finding that others need you less, like others are listening less to you too, and you're focusing your own energy back on yourself. Yeah, it's giving, where would you like to rest your head each night? Or each night, what is that feeling? And how has the day contributed to that feeling? What really rejuvenates you? What would really heal you? For some of you, you may be considering the health difficulty, if that's what this is about for you. Considering its spiritual significance or emotional significance, like where has this really come from, and what part of me can I bring more into balance in order to feed myself in the way that this illness is showing me that I need feeding, that I want feeding. There may be a little bit of like a trial period of what does work for me. So there's a sense of that, again, that leeway of being able to look at things and seeing if they work or not, and not needing to get attached to anything that you try. So it's giving like it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to try things that don't work, and it's a process of learning what fits for you, learning what's right for you, learning how you can best love yourself, learning about who you are. And I want to say more who you are now. And maybe that is connecting you to who you've always been, but maybe that was harder to feel that part of yourself. Perhaps with more busyness or more to take care of outside of yourself. And whether or not you still feel you have those same duties, there's definitely a sense of like a radical calling back to self, of even if you do have those same duties, you're not actually focused on them. That they've changed in a sense, in one way or another they have changed, because your relationship to them has changed. Okay, let's get some more cards. What shall we use? It's interesting, I am picking up a lot of like higher energy with you. You might find that there are angels working with you. I want to note that. Take that if it resonates. You may really feel like you're being taken care of physically by the non-physical, or that this was something that was always coming, that you felt quite prepared for in one sense. It's like even if things didn't line up physically, they may have, but I feel like in some sense they didn't. Like there might have been a physical unexpected that makes you feel out of sorts. I think spiritually you feel like things are so right, or you feel like this is so natural. Yeah, there's something so natural about this. And for some of you, you may be experiencing others outside of yourself who don't see this as natural. And I want to say like a reassurance, I guess, or a like commending you. Damn, that's the I didn't finish my sentence in a pick a card I did like yesterday surrounding the word commending. Anyway, what is that message here? You didn't finish something that you started, maybe, or maybe others see you like that, or maybe in the past you would have. Hey, look, I'm splitting to angels. Maybe in the past you would have felt a sense of stress around that. There's so much about that. It's like things that used to stress you no longer do, because you've been kind of bonked on the head to realize what is really important, or where your energy has to be focused on, which feels like you, your own self, your own body. It's like you've been made to prioritize yourself, and you're really feeling spiritually connected for that reason, because to you, even if other people see this as more of a physical change, to you it's spiritual, or to you, you feel more connected because of it, or you feel like this is so right, you feel like your body is doing what it's meant to be doing, or your body is showing you something about you that you kept avoiding, or that you really needed that like push to realize the things that you're realizing. And it doesn't have to be like a mental aha moment, because I think it's steadier than that. I think it's more subtle than that. I think it's like a gentle heart and body connection. You feel more in tune with yourself. You feel more right, or you feel I think you feel a stronger connection to your planet. And I think that you feel like things can't bog you down like they could before, and like it's easier to forgive, or it's easier to let small things slide by, or you feel more grateful. That's what I want to say. You feel grateful for the moment, because I think that you've been made to be more present in some sense, or been drawn to be more present, because it's always a choice. You may feel as if it was like something forced upon you, but it's still a choice for you to be in the energy you're in. You could look at how other people, or how it would be possible for others to handle what you have been handling, and there is a sense of spirit wanting to show you right now how gracefully you are taking care of yourself. And some of you may not even feel like you are, but you are. Like, look at all that you've experienced, and look at who you are and how you feel. I think you've gained so much from this. I think you might also be allowing yourself to feel more emotional. Like, you may not have felt like you had the right to, but it's like this makes you feel like, you know what, I will allow myself to finally feel. And maybe that has like been like a ticket handed to you, like you get to feel now, or you get to take care of yourself now. And maybe through taking that ticket, you're realizing all the times that you could have been taking care of yourself before, and you're allowing yourself to almost double down on the care for like all the times that you hadn't cared for yourself before. So we have Orion. That's making me think of Asclepius, and also I can't remember his name in the moment. He begins with an H, and he's like high. How I can't think of his name. It's Aphrodite's partner in one, or in some myths. He's a smith, a blacksmith. I think he might be a centaur. Maybe? No, maybe that's wrong. I don't know. I don't remember. But we love him. He's got a heart of gold. Okay, Sirius B. He's like Zeus and someone. Zeus and... Is it the... I'm not remembering. Zeus's like former, not Hera, but former partner's child. So he's like half Titan, maybe? Half Titan, half God? I don't know why I'm getting tripped up on all this, but maybe it's to do with that. It's to do with healing, basically. Both of those feel like they have associations with healing. Orion makes me think of... Orion paired with Sirius B, it makes me think of like an intelligent sort of healing that isn't necessarily technological healing. Not necessarily super expansive either, but it's... What am I getting? I want to get confirmation on that. What is... It's like natural healing. Maybe back of the deck is unicorns, yeah. This is all about healing. And back earth. We have a lot of that earthly energies. You're healing your body. You're healing your body. And I think for most of you, rest is playing a big part of that. But also like how you play. How you allow your heart to show you the way. Some of you, it's simply processing your emotion, and something has happened that really has called you to process your emotions, and with the emotions that are coming up surrounding that particular thing, the emotions surrounding so much more of your life are also coming up. You may be feeling particularly feminine at this time, and maybe for a while. There's that sense of coming back to not needing it to take any one path or take any one amount of time, and allowing your body to move with the tides, move with... I heard your thoughts, but I was trying to say your feelings. With your thoughts. I do feel like your mind might have been put into a much clearer state. It's kind of like you had been shocked into a stillness of mind, or like it's giving me a bit of a sense of like your mind was so busy that it became still. It's like so much happened that you almost got like reawakened, reset. Some of you may have been unconscious, like you may have been in a, not trance, you could resonate with that, having been in a trance and feeling like you're waking up to a new life, a new self. But it's kind of like the old self too. I'm not getting the word for what I was trying to see, so that's okay. Okay, where now? Let's get a couple more cards. But which cards? Okay, we'll use the body deck, and also... Okay, these three. So we'll do runes last. And we'll do birds. No, we'll do birds second. We'll do it in the order. This is a body deck. So those are body parts. Or like, I just thought like there's one card called outline in this, and there's other probably body parts that aren't really body parts. Yeah, that's kind of what this feels like. It is about the body, but it's kind of not. This may have been an awakening of sorts for you. I think it was for everyone here, but you may have like awakened to your spirituality, or awakened to your emotions, awakened to... Yeah, there's loads of things that this could correlate to you awakening to. Your needs. Okay, so we have freckles. Interesting. Yes, not really a body part. Freckles do make me think of something quite unique, or sensitivity. Yeah, sensitivity. That's what it's bringing me to right now. And also a bit of creativity. I think creativity could be really soothing for you throughout this. But more so it's making me think of like, what are your individual needs? I keep thinking too, like the sun is too bright, or too much exposure to heat is extra difficult. So we also have wrist. That's making me think of flexibility, like finding a way to be more flexible with yourself, with what you do. But it is also bringing me back to that creative energy. You're playing with what you can do. You're playing with what you want to do, what feels like you to do. I want to note, some of you, palm was at the back of the deck. I didn't show it, but why was that? Palm, I didn't show it. I can think of a few expressions of that. I feel like that might hit home for some of you. Palm, I didn't show it. Okay, now let's get some birds. You might be really resonating with nature and animals, and maybe birds in particular. We have puffin. You might also be really connected to feeling loved and connected to those who care for you, and you're working out with others who can do what, or how to take care of this new phase of life, this new self, the new conditions. You also might be finding, like I had a small message that I said, didn't I, of like you might be really finding who's there for you and who's not. That will only resonate for some. It's like if that didn't feel reassuring to hear, then you don't need to like expect, quote unquote, the worst. Because there's a feeling here of being taken care of, and of others reaching out to you to help, being cared for, being loved. We have red kite. At the back we have, oh, that's a little cute guy, gold crest. And below that, wind chat. And below that, I actually feel like taking two, or just looking at. Grey heron. And below that was Canada goose. And at the other back is goldfinch. So it could be a lot of gold energy. Is gold healing? I'm seeing it in like a particular way though. You could find a strong connection to gold actually. Golden energy. Golden healing energy. Yeah, that really hits for some. Cool. Red kite is making me think of that connection to spirit. Yeah, it feels like a combination of very earthly energy and very spiritual energy. You might be also questioning, like, actually, what's the difference? Or maybe you're not questioning that, maybe you're just realizing that. Yeah, there's a connectivity that you're feeling. We have Jera. This talks of cycles, and it's making me think of like allowing the time to pass. It's also like an extended amount of time. What else do we have? For some of you, you might want to know that this particularly talks of a year. I'm also seeing like the year being this much. Like there's a little bit, I don't know if you can see that in the camera. It's like a red part here, and then either side is like grey green. So it could be like something happened in the former, then there's a year's time, and then there's another chunk of something. Some of you you might resonate with it being 2 years, because it's like half a year, then 1 year, then another half. But only take that if that resonates, or if it feels like it confirms something. And we also have, yeah, again, Anzus, which talks to wisdom. It feels to me like that spiritual connection. The cycles of life are really hitting home for you in a very, what's that word? It's like not sparkly, not dusty, not quite still. Do you understand the word the word I'm trying to get at, or that feeling? Quiet, in a quiet way. It's like you're bringing a tangible approach to your spirituality, or like it's like the spiritual now feels palpable, or you feel like you get it. There's something that you now really get. It's like a sort of wisdom that you feel like you could only have got to through this physical experience. And maybe for some of you that is your heart. Maybe only through like heartbreak or heartache did you really listen to yourself, feel the wondrous nature of life, feel nature, feel life, feel wonder. And some of you might still not really be wanting to look at it so lightly. Maybe it's still a strong sore spot. But even with that, there's this sense of you, again, going at it in with such grace, really allowing yourself to flow with the tides, to feel what comes up, to process in your own time. Okay. Pile 1, that's your reading. I'm going to leave it there. So, I love you very much. Ah! Runes falling. See you in another, if I see you in another, or see you in the essence of the planet, if not. Or if we're on different planets, then the essence of maybe the galaxy, if we're in the same galaxy, or just the universe, if not. Bye. The camera remains on as I prepare for pile 2. So feel free to head out on your own accord. In your own time. Okay, I feel like mentioning it. After I had said like the last closing thing, someone I used to know made fun of me for the voice I did, and in my head, and I wouldn't usually have such a strong reaction, but in my head I said fuck you, like who cares, so I felt like that was related to your reading in the sense of that energy of other people might not get this, but you don't really care, or you're not really listening to that anymore. You're just, there's so much peace and acceptance here. Self-respect. Self-love. Self-allowance. I feel like that's a strong one. Self-allowance. Self-grace. Some of you may be called Grace. Or you may be really resonating with that name during this time. That's cool. Water. I'm just looking at the notebook of like the thing that might have briefly shown. I might not. I might just leave it if it shows. Okay. 2. Welcome in pile 2. The first thing I got was like, did you fumble the bag? Is that what you're saying? Or is that what someone else is saying? I also got an image of like bonking the frying pan on someone's head. And then the Pascal, the chameleon, poking his tongue out. And this crystal, it keeps wanting to like jump around and not really settle. Ooh, interesting. I'm putting it like above her head. It feels quite set in place or divinely guided, and yet it's a green crystal. Maybe it should be over the heart, but that doesn't fit in the slightest. It's like you're following love, not based off how it feels, but based off what you know it should feel like. Something like that. Get some dragon animal cards to begin with. There's like a dilly-dallying energy. Maybe you're looking down energy. I think for some of you, or for maybe a lot of you, this isn't going to be you that this is talking about. But I don't really want to say that because it might not be true. There could be something about that, like being unsure, so you don't want to say something. Again, this could be someone else, like they didn't want to say something because they weren't sure. Okay. Let's get lots of cards going. I feel like in this energy, I don't want to jump the gun, which feels like that goes with the message that's of the situation. But I still feel that. Like, I want to get all the cards before I jump to conclusions. I'm getting owl energy with you too. Earth and water dragon creates the foundation for new growth. A fresh start is coming with new opportunities. Nurture your ideas and harvest the abundance. Cat. Yeah, it felt like that. Something about opportunity, but maybe having slept on an opportunity. Cat, be relaxed and independent. Bee, spread heart healing with joy. Ooh, yeah, I like this. We're getting lots. Thor's red, black, and gold dragon protects you in times of change. A time of rapid transition and transformation. Relax, you are safe. If some of you have been going through, I heard a dry spell, like a phase of not much going on, there's change. That's going to be changing soon, especially if that is to do with others. like the way this is showing itself is like there were opportunities that didn't get taken. You were called into yourself, into being alone, and B is making me think of Community the Hive, and you maybe were focused on work, or on like a larger collective, or like friends or family. It's not really even family so much, but it could be. Focused elsewhere on a larger goal, and now things are changing. Okay. No more of these cards. Okay. I kind of want to dance. Some of you dodged a bullet. Just saying. At the back of the deck we have Pig. Maintain self-worth. I wanted to say high self-worth. Okay. Maintain high self-worth. And look at that emerald coming through at the back with abundance. Good fortune. Luck. Yeah, this is feeling like a turnaround. It's like you let go of something that you loved, because it was like that heart, but you weren't really listening to your body's heart, which makes me think that your body's heart was saying, I want this, but your intuition, your intuitive heart, what you knew your heart really wanted, or where it would shine even brighter, where it would feel even more loved, was elsewhere. So you said no. You followed where you were being called to. Maybe this was even like the what's that phrase called? Rejection is divine protection. Yeah, could have been where you didn't actually choose to not have this opportunity, but it just fell through. But there's a huge shift that happens because of that, and a lot of like everything turning around and having that which is of the value you value. That which you value. Okay. I want to put them back in the box. Let's use more animals. I love animals. Oh, I want to use a different deck first, actually. I want to use the random, maybe these, maybe another one. See if anyone to come through of this first. Okay. So if you're feeling a bit strange, it's because things are changing. You might also be feeling like you're like at the edge of your seat, or like you're in between worlds, or like you're going in and out. I'm seeing beach is the card that came up, and it's making me think that you're processing a lot, and that it's like kind of in waves. Like sometimes you're processing a lot, and then other times it feels like it's all gone, and then it comes back and forth and so on. At the back of the deck is Moving Stag, so yeah, this is a spirit who helps other spirits crossover, and so there's this sense of being helped cross from one expression of love to another, being guided along the bridge to the next thing for you. Some of you might resonate with that being a next person, but I can see this going many ways, so I don't really want to say that. You know what? Let's do both. Ooh, I know what I'll do. We will do animals. See if we can get 2 out. Like pile 2. Okay, all 3. We'll put him over here. Black Jaguar. Yeah, both of those feel like in between the worlds, or within multiple worlds. There's an intensity that you're experiencing, but I'm not like fully getting intense energy. I think you may be either not experiencing it as intense for another reason, or you have been through lots of intense shifts and this one just, you're used to it, or this one just isn't as potent as some others you've been through. There's a sense of it feeling natural to you, or you just taking it in stride. We also have Manta Ray. I love this card. It's a new one for me to draw. Yeah, there's a deep purging and a sense of really going where you're called. This feels major. It feels like, even though you might feel a bit out of it, it's because you know something big is around the corner. Something like true to your soul. Something that your soul recognizes. That's a cool way to see it. You might be feeling tied. I think it's tied to the future. I think you feel really led along. You might also be feeling tied to the past, but I feel like that could be why you're feeling a bit here, there, and everywhere, because you're leaping to the future vibration, and then you're realizing the parts of yourself that aren't aligned with that, and that is being shed, and then you kind of go back down to the past to shed it, and then you jump back to the future, and then that awakens it's like lots of crumbling and shedding, and you're feeling good. I feel like your face, it may be, or your body, you may be looking darker. More, there's a word that begins with a V. Maybe some of you will think of one and you'll be like, yes, that word. More regal. More like yourself. You could also be noticing the way you look changing, going back and forth while you're shedding your skin, per se. There's so much about feeling divinely guided here. Following, with that pig card coming out at the back of the deck, following your worth. Following your... I don't want to quite say yourself or your soul, but yes, yourself and your soul. At the back of the deck is Lima. What is Lima making me think of? It is giving that intense energy, but it's not intense. It's like they're so moving and jumping, and they're a bit here, there, and everywhere, and yet they have just a grounded potency that isn't always apparent. Yeah, you're on a journey. You're on a journey, and I think it's really invigorating. That word. I like that word. Okay. Yeah, it's a powerful energy you're in. We have Grasshopper. Yeah, Grasshopper is so jumpy. It's like a radical shift. And yet it's like you were made for it, and that's why it feels so natural too. But I don't want to use that word natural. What do I want to use? Let's see if these cards give me any guidance. Cheetah and Lion. For a couple of you, that word cheetah could actually be associated with that opportunity that fell through for you. Take that if it resonates. Otherwise, cheetah and lion. And with cat being the center. You are the center. However, it didn't come easily. You are the center, however, you have learnt to use your power, the power of yourself, in different ways. You're both mutable and very fixed. You know exactly when to shoot your shot. You know when it's time to run, and you know when it's time to rest. You know when it's time to chase, and you know when it's time to receive. You know, there's such a following your impulses, following your intuition, following what you see. I don't want to say see like necessarily visual, it could be that clairvoyance, but this is more an entirety of your being. It knows when to pounce. You have 3 big cats actually, and then the center is a cat. Your intuition is so strong. It might be feeling particularly heightened as of late too, and you may continue to feel that expanding or feeling more potent. I love it when a reading like really allows me to use the word potent, and that's so your reading. Which is interesting because it doesn't, you have such like a healing energy too. Healing, okay, how do I put this? It's not a rough kind of potency. It is, in a tiny way, but mostly it feels smoother, like a smooth kind of potency. I think that's what that lemur energy was too. Like that bouncing here, there, and everywhere. You're very, very mutable, but it's like everywhere you turn is fixed. When you decide to do something, it's visible, or it's felt. And I felt more like, yes, you could take that like it's felt in the room if you're in a room with multiple people, but more so, yeah, I actually do get that sense. It's like if you're on the sofa with, I don't know, a few around you or someone else, when you get up and you go and say make a cup of coffee, that's felt. Like it's seen as a decision. Some people it just kind of is more background noise, or it's like it feels more liquidy. But for you it's more like a rock, like, oh, they are getting up and they are going and they are making a cup of coffee. It feels decisive. But on the less mundane example, which I don't really want to call mundane, it's like it has a power to it. The main example I was seeing was more like the action you take, whether that be external or internal. It's felt in spirit, it's felt by collectives. You may feel like you're really a part of so many that you're... I don't know how to say that other than, again, a part of. You may feel like you're really a part of a collective, and that wherever you root yourself, whatever you choose to do, with each change of pace or each decision you make, it really changes the overall vibe. It sets a tone of sorts. Some of you may feel like a leader in that sense, and others of you feel like a powerful support system. Like it's even if you don't feel like like maybe there is no leader, but you're recognized, you're really recognized, you're seen, you're felt. Okay, now let's get these cards. I really do feel a bit here, there, and everywhere. It's like, as soon as I pick one deck to choose, I then want to use another. We have unicorns. I want to put it up there, and I wanted to put it down here. That's what my intention was. Maybe I will. I won't. I'm putting it up here. Let's put it like that. Things keep changing, but you keep mutating with the changes. It's like you might have had a specific idea of what you were changing into, or like what the next step would ask of you, but actually asks something else. And you keep changing with it. Earth. That's it. I really want more though. Is that how you're feeling? Like you go down one path and you get something substantial from it and you feel in line with it, and then you're asked to go in another direction and you're like, oh, but I just like settled into that, or I have so much more that I want surrounding that. But it's like, nope, get up and leave. You may feel like it's like a little bit of a blessing and a burden, though you may continually come back to the feeling of it being a blessing. I heard like specifically for others, you see it as a blessing, or you see yourself as a blessing. Fairies at the back. Okay. Yeah, so much like transmuting energy, and also fairies are so like, in my mind, they're so here, there, and everywhere. Yeah, they have that potency, that magical ability to transmute at in a directed way, in an intentional way. Like it's not just like who they are walking, changing their environment. It's more like, I'm not saying it's not that, but it's what's been drawn to my attention is actually where they intend to create change happens. Which again just feels like for you, it's like every action you intentionally take part in, creates the center ripple of shifting energy there. And it's like once you've dapped your finger in the puddle in the lake in that particular place a couple times for it to really make its mark, then it's time to go to the next lake, the next pond, the next river, the next ocean, to do your thing. Oh, what is that to do with unicorns? Because I'm seeing now you being a unicorn who's like dipping the tip of their horn into the water. Oh, there used to be the, I don't know what it's called, the myth, fairy tale, that history, that unicorns purify the water that they touch. So that makes sense. You may feel like you're a bit of a unicorn who goes around touching unclean ponds that become purified. Purifying the ponds. Or giving them a taste of your purity. What's the earth? I only just like realized that. I mean, for one, that kind of feels a bit like that unicorn walking around the earth to cleanse all the water of the earth in segments and bits, and I got a bit of a ringing in my left ear from that. But it wasn't a it's still persisting, but in a like an undertone sense. You might feel like you have like a baritone energy or like your energy harmonizes with the planet you're on, and it changes the makeup of a foundation. So even if you don't see the ponds changing their purity, it's like touching those ponds then creates streams that ripple down into the center of the planet, and that is what slowly begins to, or quickly begins to shift, begins to then resonate outwards to the outside. So you might not you might not always immediately see the repercussions, the change that you create, because it's at such a deep level. What you're doing is not to be taken lightly. It's something that really makes a long-lasting impact. Yeah, okay. Let's get some number cards. Actually, I really want to know what runes would come out. Kind of more out of curiosity than like for your sake, I'll say. I mean, that's a little bit of the energy I have towards any reading. It's like, okay, let me see what I would like to from your energy. Not really, but kind of. So we have the word rune. Let's put him in the center. No, it doesn't want to go there. I guess it kind of fits that unicorn energy. Shall we put it on? No. Ooh, it so fits unicorn and black jaguar. Okay, so let me get the other ones and see if there's a stronger pattern, like what this is really about. Hagalaz. Like that for you. I like that for you. I wasn't sure about this one. Then this is Awaz. No, this is Manaz. No, this is Awaz. I'm almost certain. Actually, I have my little notes now. I forgot. I can check. There it is. Yeah, it was. Okay. Okay, so I'm feeling like a lot of these potent shifts are very oriented towards partnership, oriented not on a collective base, but on, which is weird, and I touched the like B, which spoke of community card. So even if I think it, okay, so it's on a collective level that you create such transformation, create such potent, long-lasting change. However, it comes from your individual connection to each one in the collective. It's not like that's what makes it so potent. It's not like a general energy you send out. It's something very specific. It's like specific to the one that you're talking to, the one that you're looking at, the one that your interaction interacts with. I also feel a bit like you're your planet's partner. That had a very specific message. That might only be for like a couple people, but you might take that trail and go elsewhere with it. You may even go to like pick a card reading from Earth, like messages from Earth. Okay. With the word rune coming out at the beginning, what is this speaking to? It's speaking for one to a strong faith and a sense of trusting that you're always led where you're led to, and feeling that, I said like that attachment, that tie. I feel like you really do feel like you are tied to that which you're tied to for a reason, and that you allow that to be. You don't force yourself to cut ties with a being who you feel you're meant to have a tie with, and you don't create ties with beings that you feel like you're not meant to have a tie with. Everything for you feels so sacred and so not chosen by the conscious you. Chosen by the conscious you, but it's like, where does that choice come from? What are you really looking at to choose whether it's a yes or a no? Or whether it's a stay here or go. I had to do that because it rhymed. I'm really being drawn to ideas. Coming ideas. Maybe what you say, the ideas you have, play a huge part in... I don't want to say it's what creates the change within both your own life and others' lives, but it's something more to do with like an understanding of where you come from, or who you are at your core, or the way that feels most natural for you to operate out of. It's like your own ideas of what is to come. Okay, yeah, that's it. It's like your idea of what is to come, which feels like prophecy. It feels like strong intuition, seeing the future. And that's how you walk. You walk based off what you're shown your future is. You walk based off... You create your future not based off like superficial things that would pass you by, or based off fleeting desires. It's based off a core desire. It's based off a desire you may feel like is put there by someone else, or by a higher expression of yourself, or a more core expression of yourself. You feel very divinely guided. You feel like you're walking a path that you have already decided you'll walk. There's something about "and in the end." And I read this win. It's like you know that you'll have success. Maybe you know you'll have sex. There's something about that, like that, because that came from this part with the orange too, and the manas, which is the partnership. It's like you know where you're going and who you'll collaborate with. You know who you'll be with because you've seen it, and you create what you are shown not in like a light-hearted way, but felt on a deep you level, on the level that resonates for you. You know where you're walking. You know who you'll be with in all manners of life, or maybe only one specific manner, because who you are in this lifetime is a catalyst of change. You bring destruction, you bring change. You are the bringer of change, and you feel like everything is meant to be. You feel like your collaboration is something that has been planned to awaken yourself and the other involved to very particular parts of yourselves. You don't feel like anything is for no reason. You feel like there is a plan, and it's a plan that you enjoy walking. You don't walk this plan because you feel like you have to. You walk this plan because you feel like you so want to. You may not even have thought of it like that, because maybe it did feel like there's no way I can't do this, or it just may have been something so instinctual that it was never a question whether you do it or not. Maybe that's shifted over the years, or maybe it's always been like that for you. But regardless, there is a sense that you invite the chaos, you invite the storm, because that's who you are. Because you love change, you love feeling more of yourself and seeing others become more of themselves. You love direct collaboration. You love seeing another trigger you. You love seeing another create an experience of yourself that you had not yet experienced, that you knew you wanted to have, but you never knew that you wanted to have it. You never knew what it was that you wanted. And so for you, there's always this invitation of collaboration with the universe, with all that you are, in order to remember all that you are, and have that be remembered in the way that you know that you most want to, but maybe don't actually know what that is. And so there's a sense of trusting each step as it comes, and going with the flow when it shoots you in another direction. Being the fixed, mutable. Okay, now we'll actually get the numbers. The dark side of the moon. That could be significant. Yeah, it's like that intuition, but it's intuition that you don't fully see. It's like like I said, slightly, it's not about what you see. It's not about the actual visuals. I said like maybe it could be, but this is so much speaking to who you are that you'd never really question, or you might not really point to yourself and say, like, I am intuitive in this certain way. You may see yourself as very intuitive or trust in other ways, like you are able to pick up on certain energies, or you get visions, or you hear things, like this kind of thing. But you might not always recognize just how much you naturally flow with the dark side of the moon, the part that is just instinctual. It's in your bones that you listen. It's in your bones that you know where you're going without knowing where you're going. It's in your bones that you naturally go where change is calling. I saw that in such a particular way. Change is calling. I like the energy more than the words, but the words are okay. Yeah, this is a reading mirroring to you your natural intuition, your natural way of maneuvering through life, and how that is expanding your heart and leading you, always leading you to the most feeling of love, to experiencing love in ways that you hadn't fathomed before, leading you to leading others through this, and not leading in the sense of like you being ahead of the other, but leading in a partnership where they are leading you and you are leading them, simply through seeing one another, simply through experiencing what one another has to represent themselves as, the form of everythingness that they formulate themselves into being. You over and over have experienced change that wasn't always desired, but change that always was looked back on with gratitude, because you feel more of who you are because of it. So 74, I don't know if I said that. Yeah, this is making me think of, like, above is the ether. That's what intuition is often called. But for you, it's the shape of your body. It's the shape of your mind. It's the shape of your life. It's the shape of you on the inside. It's not like you follow a trail of cookies in front of you. It's that you are the cookie, and you can't help but exist as the cookie. That wasn't I thought that was gonna make more sense than it did. I like the start part of, like, it's not the trails in front of you that you're following, it's something that you can't comprehend. Maybe you can, but I can't in this moment. Then 22. This makes me think of a timer, like the sand is dripping down. 22. That makes me think of partners. And then once it... Oh, wow. You may have experienced a lot of timers that never fully got to... It's like, okay, the sand started all at the top, and it's like it's put down the moment the relationship begins, or the moment you meet a new soul, or you meet someone, the moment your connection, quote unquote, begins. The expression of the yous that are in this lifetime connect, that beginning. That's when the timer begins, and the sand starts pouring, and it starts pouring, and it's representing all that you're letting go of that isn't enabling you to co-create together in an authentic way. And you release and you release until one of you, it's like you have a timer each, or no, there's just one timer because it represents the relationship. And then I think what you've continually experienced is, before the sand all gets to the bottom, one of the other, or maybe you too, for other reasons, the timer is taken away, or it's smashed. And you may not have experienced a relationship, or many relationships, where that timer, the sand goes all the way to the bottom, and it's not the end, it's a reverse. You flip it on its head and it begins again. Maybe all of your renewals haven't been within relationships, it's been renewals that led to the end of them, instead of the end of the old way of being together. I feel like there's so much more to say on that, but I'm being drawn to getting more cards already. And when I said relationships and another being, this could also be like work, this could be hobbies, this could be places you live, countries you stay in, it could be anything. But it's a one-on-one. It's you and something. 95. What is this making me think of? It's like collectively creating a mountain in the center from something so far away. It's like you're pressing a button that makes the mountain grow a tiny bit taller. And that mountain is an antenna for beyond the planet you're on. Well, that's a cool message that someone is going to get from. If that didn't resonate, just take it. I mean, just take it, okay? Not like leave it for someone else. Just take it if it doesn't resonate. I think that might be what you've experienced in the past. Maybe those outside of you, a lot of them may have just taken it without really knowing what they're taking, or they're taking things that they don't resonate with, and in order for that timer to get to that bottom, that death, there can't be anything that, it's like everything has to be sifted through that is not authentic. Everything has to align. Everything has to be in unison with the relationship. And maybe they had too many like boulders. Oh, I love that imagery. It's more like they begin as boulders in the top, or rocks, and so you have to, it's like they crumble, they start crumbling down in order to be sand, and sifted through and let go of that which was tension, that let go of anything that was being held onto in order for the collaboration to work. But maybe they had boulders they didn't want to let go of. Or maybe you did in the past with others. We have 2, which is that more partnership energy. 9 and 5 goes to 5. I almost said 4 though. Why did I say that? Maybe just because 2 and 2 goes to 4. My mind was jumping ahead. I don't know. Then 2, yeah, 74 goes to, yes, I said it again. 74 goes to 2. Goes to 2. Ah! Words. Okay, let's look at this. I like looking at them individually. 2. Because it feels like we're doing this together. It feels like holding it up to the camera is more of a What for collaboration? I think that was the message from that. I do really love this 2 card. It's one of my favorite in this deck. Favorites. Let's say one of my favorite. Maybe you have wanted a favorite, but maybe that hasn't always been available, hasn't always been reciprocated with that like energy of both twos, both parties need to want to move through all the boulders, sift them all into sand in order for the relationship to flourish, to elevate to the next level. Yeah, and it's kind of giving like, what if they're boulders they don't want to break down, you can still wait for them, because there's still always the potential for them to break them down. But it's kind of like, how long do you wait? And okay, I'm not getting to say anything more about that. Okay, cool. Next card. Oh, I'm really loving these number cards in your reading. I'm not sure if there's a message to be had in that, or maybe it's just... No, it's not like... Yes, it's a little bit all the cards, but... Yeah, it is a little bit all the cards. I think it's because you see depth. Not everyone looks at... I guess my cards in particular I'm liking. Not everyone will look at my cards and see something similar to how I see them. And I think that's beautiful in and of itself. But I also really like it when someone sees something similar to what I see in them. And I feel like you do. Okay, we have 369. But actually with you, I'm wanting to say 369. The full number. It's not taking it apart, it's keeping the wholeness of it. And I think that might be the understanding you have that maybe isn't always understood, that you're not taking things apart, you're not breaking the boulders because you like chaos or because you like breaking, but maybe it is that. It's like you do things for a reason, you do things for wholeness. 369. 369 is made up of the numbers 3, 6, and 9. But you don't want to keep it. You don't want to keep saying it like 369. Maybe others do. You want the wholeness. What is that? Because it's bringing me back to that message of the, like, jumping around. Like, experiencing the separation, experiencing the jumbles. Maybe you do have an idea that the reason why you're able to keep moving, keep changing your direction is not because you enjoy changing direction necessarily, but it's because you enjoy the final product that you know that it's creating. It's like, you know, you needed to experience 3, you know you needed to experience 6, you know you needed to experience 9, but not because you necessarily wanted to have them each individually, but because you knew that at the end of the day you would get 369, and that's what you were looking for. A sense of completion, a sense of feeling full, a sense of feeling your full self, a sense of contentment. And to find that contentment, you did follow where you were guided, follow where you were being called to let go of and what you were being called to add in. There's like a feeling of like you needed to compromise, you chose to compromise because you weren't willing to compromise on the end goal. Yeah, I love that. Hey, look at that. It's 69. Are we gonna get a 3 after this? Are you gonna focus? The others were focusing, weren't they? Okay. I almost got it 3 then. 69. Why didn't you want to focus? It's reminding me of fireworks. But drawing down the fireworks. Maybe even drawing the fireworks, like painting that which you're seeing. But not what you're seeing with your eyes, but what you're seeing with that part of you that you listen to, that isn't necessarily the you in the moment, but the soul you, or whoever you feel like you're being led by, or whatever you're feeling like you're led by. It's like experiencing your own perspective, but it's of something outside of yourself. But it's with this willingness to find whatever is there. You're not trying to bend anything, you're simply trying to experience the core of something without expectation of what that core might be. There's an openness to exploring as opposed to seeking something in particular. There's a sense of like allowing magnetism to do the work. And then recognizing, looking at what that magnet was. Yeah, there's something so strong about the arts there. Both what you're receiving and giving. And it is coming under when I said sex. So that could be creativity in that sense. Physically uniting with another. Physically seeing what you find as opposed to trying to do any act or any combining. I love that, combining. As opposed to trying to do any combining in a set way, there's an openness you have to exploring the individual connection and how they want to express one another. I like that. It's like that true connection of like, I'm no longer expressing myself here, I'm expressing you. We're becoming one another and seeing who the other is and not trying to mold one another one another, either one of us. We're not trying to mold anything. We're trying to create such a delicate opening to see what unfolds, to see what is naturally expressed. Whether that even be pain or joy or anything that comes up. There's an invitation of, I want to say it again, like of exploring and like a delicate curiosity as opposed to trying to find something in particular. There's no end goal, there's simply a unfolding and unwrapping what is there. Not needing to know what is there, but having the desire to find out. Yeah, I love that. It's such an unconditional love feeling. And that being expressed sexually or creatively or physically. It gave like a, this is happening. This is happening on all levels. Okay, we got 2, and I maybe want to say the final 2. We'll see. Maybe there's another one after that. Okay, so we have, yeah, I like that the final 2, even if it's not actually the final 2, I'm saying the final 2, came out together. And that feels like that end, that flop, that reverse, that higher level. That's when we can get to the next level together. When we both come out on top. That's an interesting phrasing. It's like when we both reach that bottom. When we both release all that wanted to be released. Or express everything that wanted to be expressed. It doesn't have to be releasing or like breaking down in the letting go sense, but I think there is a feeling of letting go that floods through all of this, but it doesn't have to be a focus on what's not coming with you, but it can be the focus on what is, but somehow that's expressing itself or wanting to be heard in a sense of letting go. So 44 and 49. And 49 goes down to 4. So 4, 4, 4. It's just two different expressions of 4. Oh wait, no, yeah. Even though 4 and 4 is 8. I like that. It's like 4, 4 and 8, and then 4 and 9. Oh, 4, 4 and 9. Because there's still a 4 there. Okay, so and there's even like an infinity, there's an 8 on here. So there's such a togetherness feeling. Together. Oh, I heard that's it. I started to look for something, but there was nothing to look for. That's it. It's a together feeling. That's how you get to be together through all that journey we went on. That is the formula. That is what everyone must do. That's the end. They get to be like together on the side on their own. That's adorable. I got an image of like a Barbie house and like playing with like putting the characters together or something. Love it. Okay, that's your reading, pile 2. I loved that. Oh, the back of the deck is 1. Because even though there's that together, it's a oneness. It's not losing yourself, and it's also seeing that there is a selfness that is a relationship. Like, what is the self? That is the becoming of the one. Because that's how it's blended together. I think this number 22 is like the main character of this reading. I feel like there's still so much about 74 that could be spoken about, but I can't speak about it because that's the dark side of the moon thing. It's what can't really be seen, can't really be comprehended under the surface. It's the Black Jaguar. Actually, I think I could, but maybe that's for another reading. Yeah, that 1. It can't be 1 if like there's parts that are not of what that 1 is, what the togetherness is. This felt like an entire spread of letting go of anything that was not unconditional love. Union. Cool, I love it. See you, pile. Pile number 2. Oh yeah, you're pile 2 also. Gotta love it. Gotta love it, right? You got to. If you don't, then evil things will happen to you. Bad things will happen to you. I feel only a slight bit of guiltiness saying that, because I feel like there are maybe some of you who did get a bit afraid. Gotta break down those boulders, mate. There's my animal deck out of there. Oh, I really loved that. I got just a small message then of one thing that can stop that union is when one of the parties is pointing to an authentic part of the other and saying that part isn't wanted. In essence, like not having that unconditional love, because when something isn't wanted of everything that is, then there can't be a wholeness there. You can't have an authentic, full relationship when a part is being dismissed, a part isn't being included. Did you hear that click? That was my back. Where does this go? I wonder. Ah, yeah, pile 3 wanted to have multiple cards, so we'll see if they want to continue to have more cards. Welcome in, pile 3. Would you like to continue? Continue? I just heard that and saw that from Super Monkey Ball main game. It's like when you die, you get taken to a screen and it asks if you want to continue or not. You can go to that screen so many times, but your lives start going down. It's like you only have a certain number of continues. Okay. I wanted to use the character card deck for you right off the bat, because in the intro, in the pile selection, your pile had wanted multiple cards, so we'll see if you still want multiple cards from this deck. You do! Would you look at that? It's even more than before. Oh, I love that message. That's such a homely feeling. That's so sweet. I love it. It's like, do you want to continue a bit? No, I want to continue a lot. So we have John. We have Hakase. And we have Kaiman. Okay. I'm seeing a story, but I'm not gonna say it yet. I want confirmation before I jump the gun. I had that in an earlier reading too. I'm not usually like that, I feel like. I'm a Mercury Mars. I say what I think. I think I'll get tarot after this too. Put it on top of these guys. I wish I had like huge hands, like Kaiman sized hands. Not John Tiny Armadillo sized hands. So I could like shuffle these a big way. A big way. Yeah, there's something about like expansivity. Expansion. I like expansivity. I have so many messages I could be saying. I'm not saying them yet. We might get there. Are you feeling that? Like trepidation? No, I feel like you're feeling quite at peace. Maybe. Peace? You're a peace? Oh, I like the back of this more. In this moment. So there could be something about like the surface is more chaotic or more like, oh, I don't know if I'm liking that. But behind, everything is at peace. Everything is right. Okay. Put him there, shall we? Shall we? Yeah, I feel like there's lots of questioning with you. And yet I'm not getting a strong energy of questioning. Cards. Give them. Hand them over. You're doing things your own way. That's for sure. I'll say that much. Yeah, you're swimming upstream. Because I wanted to come up this way and I see this like a being that is you, that is like a raindrop. It's like following your intuition, but it's not leading you downwards, it's leading you upwards. There might be a bit of a struggle that comes with the path that you feel drawn to, the choices you feel called to make. There's a sense that they're leading you to your idea of home. This is the back. Oh no, we don't want the back this time though. This time is definitely the front. I heard the word vicarious. At the back of the deck is this. This is a bit of my boundaries card. Maybe a bit of the empath. Maybe you're a bit of the empath. Why the empath? You're the empath. Okay, and this card popping itself out is like my Leo card of celebration, of congratulations. So there's a sense that you have really respected yourself. I feel like you might have followed your mind, followed what you knew was true logically, and walked away from something, possibly walked away from family or an old sense of family or someone you had a love for. And for some of you it may have been on a whim that just wants to come through. Take it if it resonates. And you may be feeling a little like this is making me think of like cheekiness, or you may be viewed as having been childish, or perhaps you're walking away from a sense of childishness, but I don't think that's it. I think it's more like you're walking away from like a roboticness. You're walking away. You're walking away from a sense of non-emotionality, and you're following your emotion towards where your inner child can thrive, towards a sense of joy, a sense of, I heard invitation to be, maybe an invitation to cry, like going somewhere that feels safe to cry in, or with someone that feels safe to cry around. And you're finding yourself, you're feeling like you're finding friends, you're finding soul family, finding those that you can really trust and rely on. This could have to do with romance, but I'm also seeing this strongly. It's a camaraderie, it's a friendship regardless. Even if this is family too, it's a work. It's like a feeling of belonging, but it's not really like an intense belonging, like I belong here. It could be, but it's more of I think a gentle feeling you're coming into, of just somewhere that feels good. Somewhere you like to go, somewhere that you've been enjoying spending your time, or you're going towards that place where you enjoy living, you enjoy being in this place or being around a certain person or a certain collective or in a certain space. You may be viewed as solo, or you may be viewed as let's get a card for that. But it feels like this is all coming from a sense of valuing yourself and putting in boundaries. Okay, now let's get the tarot. So, I want to know more about the past, and then we'll do where we are now, or I don't know, maybe we'll just see what wants to come through without her delegating. Propagating. I love propagating. Snip, snip. That's making me think of Jack Sparrow in something. Snip, snip. Does he do that in something? Oh, maybe it's this too. Because this looks like when he's locked in the... Wow, what's that called? I don't know. The place that has like nothing. And he's like surrounded by sand, and the rocks turn into crabs that he like almost eats or like bites and then throws, and they like take his ship and stuff happens. Kind of trippy. Something that might look like an egg but was more of a snipper. Okay, I think I'm wanting to ask a question maybe. What are you walking away from? Oh, now that wanted to come out. This is a heavily masculine figure who might have tried to control or might have been very fixed in their mindsets or in the way they lived. Strong masculine energy. Very practical. They may not have been so spiritually or emotionally available or physically available even. There could be a sense of being absent here, not providing that which was asked or like unconsciously asked for, not providing in some sense. This could be a father figure, or it also could be someone who, it's like they had the ability to provide but they weren't providing. That's what I'll say. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. What's the next question? We're doing another question. I said you had what you were like questioning or something. Okay, so that's what you've walked away from. I think they could have been very practical, like rational, like quote unquote logical. Like, I'll believe what I see. I'll believe the evidence. They could have been quite critical too, or harsh. Or just not understanding. Particularly, I want to say emotionally not understanding. Okay. What's the next question? I'm questioning whether I want to ask why. Well, I'll ask why. We'll see if it wants to come out. 3 want to come out, but they don't really want to be put down. We'll just look at them. So we have the Tower, 9 of Wands in reverse, and 2 of Swords in reverse. They may have made you may have waited a long time, or they may have like seemingly made you wait for a long time. Or maybe like when push came to shove, they weren't there. They may have also made you really question your own intuition, question your own guidance system. The Tower coming first is like, why are you saying goodbye? Because the old ways crumbled, because you could no longer exist with them in the way that things were, and for one reason or another they weren't holding up. It's kind of like this, I think maybe they crumbled because they're being shown as the King of Pentacles in a tree. Like, they are the tree. And this representation of the Tower is a tree. So I think they crumbled. They crumbled under some sort of pressure. They weren't able to live up to themselves. They weren't able to live up to what was being asked of them in some capacity. I just want a small confirmation. Okay. I think they weren't able to emotionally provide. I don't think they were emotionally available. This caused it's not just a small crumbling. This is like a massive ending. This is a massive whole rework of being. You may have really shattered their idea of reality in some sense, and they may have tried to, I keep getting like, mentally manipulate you into feeling like your emotions weren't okay. Because this has to do with emotions, I'm telling you. Or your ability to feel what you feel. You may have brought up emotions to be processed or to be spoken about, and I think that would have caused a crumbling. You might have also expressed your love for them, and that love for them they weren't able to hold. You might have been quite overwhelming to them. I'm seeing this like they could have been like a desert emotionally. They weren't feeling themselves. They could have been quite apathetic, or they were just living life in a way that wasn't connected to themselves, really, not to their feelings or emotions. And you came in, you might have come in so intensely. You might have like poured your heart out to them, and it's like that falling onto the desert is like they didn't have the soil to like absorb it. It's like all that water just caused a flood within them. It caused things to break down. It caused them to break down in some sense. So now they're left with this entire well of emotion to deal with, and they don't know how. Because they haven't... It's like if they came from somewhere very, very emotionally lacking. Maybe they grew up without a mother figure, or they simply weren't cared for in the way that they needed to be cared for, or they went through life experiences that caused them to shut down and not receive the emotion that they needed to feel cared for. It's like that then nourished soil became dry and desert. So they didn't know how to receive you. Yeah, they weren't able to hold on. And possibly they weren't able to choose. They weren't able to tap into their emotion. There could have been a choice that they were offered. A sense of, like, do I say yes or no, perhaps? Take it if it resonates. And they could have said no, or they could have just held off from making a decision because they couldn't process, because they didn't know how to process still. It's like, what is all of this water? Like, what is this? I have not seen this for a long, long time. Possibly I've never seen this before. Or I've never felt this before. It's like they didn't really know what it was. It's like, it's almost giving like a detached view of looking at what they're feeling. Like they don't actually know that those emotions are theirs. Yeah, this is giving a sense of they didn't know how to process your emotions, or the emotions that were coming up within themselves. The anxiety, I think it brought a lot of anxiety. Okay. What? That was the like in-between question. What's the real question gonna be? So this is who you walked away from. Why are we getting a reading on this? Processing what went down, understanding what went down, or is it more about looking to the future? I'm not seeing a clear path. I'm just gonna... No, it wants to be a question. What question do you want, though? I don't know what you want. Maybe they felt like that, or maybe you felt, I think this is them. They might have felt like, I don't know what you want, because maybe you were asking for emotion and they didn't know what that was. They, like, I don't know what you want. Or maybe that was you. You might be feeling quite rejected. And so there's a sense of maybe you feeling like you didn't give the right thing, or give enough, or give the right amount. Maybe they were very like in and out, like they couldn't make up their mind. Okay, let's ask what did they want? Or what did you want that they weren't giving? That's what we're gonna ask. What did you want that they weren't giving? There's 3 coming out again. I don't want to put 3 down for some reason. So here's to more talking. Temperance at the back makes me think of like a balanced, harmonious connection. By the way, if this is not a human romantic partner, or if this is not a human person, it doesn't have to be romantic. Feel free to swap out the words I'm saying with what fits for you. So what did you want that they weren't giving? We have 4 of Cups, the Moon, the Star, and the 3 of Wands. I think you wanted them to move out of that sense of apathy. You wanted them to recognize what you were offering and to show their cards. You wanted them to choose hope, to choose to look forwards, to progress things. You wanted expansion. You wanted a plan of action, like to move forwards, to get out of a slump. It feels like they may have been in a slump or hiding how they felt. Possibly from you and themselves. Possibly just from you or from others. But I think to some extent it's to themselves too. It's the inability to like open the door, I think. I think you wanted them to open the door. I think you wanted them to see you. We have it going from the Moon to the Star. I think you wanted also them to see your emotions, to see that your emotions were a waypoint, a guiding light, that you were showing them a way forwards. I think you had a sense of direction that they lacked, and I think that you wanted them to take your offer. You wanted them to say yes to the emotional direction you were providing them with. It's giving a sense of like, hey, look, I have a plan. I know how we can move forwards. So come with me. And I think for them, okay. Let's see why they didn't then. I think we already know that. They don't know how to process their emotions, but I think we might be able to get a more deliberate, a more on point, or maybe a more practical for them reason. Why did they not choose to follow you, let's say? Why did they not choose you? Why did they not choose the way you were showing? They're stuck in the old ways of doing things. There's a sense of tradition that they weren't able to let go of. They weren't able to let go of their idea of life. They weren't able to possibly think for themselves. They may have been highly influenced by religious factors that they felt a need to cling to. They may have felt like you were offering something they couldn't predict, or they couldn't fully understand they couldn't fully understand like the way you worked, or it's not so much giving that, but take that if that's for you. It's the old way of doing things, tradition, their ancestry, like what's in their veins, their own traumas of their body. It's what's been passed down to them, what they were shown that they had to be. They were stuck in a box of how things were taught. For some of you, they wanted to be the let's get extra Page of Swords, Queen of Swords, and Justice. I think you brought to them a sense of truth, a sense of morality that they didn't feel was palatable to them, didn't align with. They didn't align with your way of doing things. They may have viewed your way as wrong, or they may have viewed your way as just not the way. They might not have had like logical reason to back up, or it may have been to them logical, but maybe it wasn't logical to you. Yeah. They trusted the old way, maybe not the truthful way. Or I want to say they were influenced. Yeah, influenced. Okay. Oh, we're getting more cards, but I don't know what this is about. I think what this experience represented was a feeling of losing someone that you could have celebrated with, that you could have celebrated life with, a continual celebration, and also a union of sorts. Two of Cups in reverse. Yeah, there's a sense of like this was a very emotional connection that could have been so much. It could have been a real soul collaboration. There's something I'm not quite getting from that Four of Wands. No, you had the 3 before. The 3 is, yeah, so it's giving the sense of like that 3 of Wands is like you were trying to lead them to you, to connection. You were trying to lead them towards both of you being in a reciprocal, soulful, I think that word soulful might be significant for you, connection. And it's like an elevated sense of commitment, maybe an elevated sense of togetherness. It's like you didn't just want like 2 people like here, there, and everywhere, but like kind of together. You didn't want anything on shaky ground. You wanted a stable relationship of some kind. That was, it's like you wanted a meaningful connection. That's what this feels like. You wanted 2 people who saw each other, and it feels like that's what you were trying to lead them towards, but that they weren't willing to change their ways of being, or they didn't know how to change. But there's always a sense of choice. That they may have told themselves in their mind that they wanted to but didn't know how, but I think it was more like their blood was telling them that this is too scary. Yeah, and this resulted in a sense of closed offness to one another, a sense of needing to protect oneself, needing to protect one's values. It's like you haven't lost this Four of Wands, but you may have lost it with them. So there's a sense of you still protecting this union feeling, this soul connection, this depth of love that is shared with another feeling, experience. However, you're not allowing yourself to get trapped into thinking that you can only have that with them. There's a sense of understanding that you're coming to that is of the love that can be extended to them from a distance, and the love that you can experience tangibly with others in the way that you wanted with them, but that they didn't choose to have with you. Okay. Oh my, this is hard. My love goes out to you, pile 3. I love you very much. Let's get some animal cards. Yeah, I think you're processing too. There's wanting to be an allowance. It's like I don't want to push you forwards. Like sometimes I want to give someone a push, but this time I don't want to give you a push. I just want to hold my hand on your shoulder and say, I know. Like, I know. And just allow you to do your thing. Allow you to process what wants to be processed, to cry about it, to just feel what comes up. And allow yourself to experience your own natural release, your own natural movement forwards to what you do want. Unicorn, healing, cleansed, infinite possibilities. Yeah, it may not always feel infinite, like when you find someone that you really love and you want to be with them. It may be difficult. This whole experience for you may have been really difficult. Like you wanted it to be them. And you may be opening yourself up to the remembrance of all the souls that you love, all the beings that you love and that can love you and want to love you and choose to love you too. Because I think that's the main message here is there's always possibility, but it's about choosing the experiences that also choose you. So unicorn, infinite possibilities. You are the sovereign of the seen and unseen worlds. The magic of love surrounds you. Beauty transforms you. I love that beauty transforms you, because that just feels like you're extending that beauty to yourself, or you're allowing the beauty of others, or the beauty of... it's like a very present feeling. It's like you're seeing life as beautiful, and that is... And also allowing yourself to see yourself as beautiful. There's a sense of that possibly this experience made you feel unbeautiful, made you feel untreasured or unvaluable, and it's the remembrance of that such like gripping value. It's like I don't want to just say like your value. I want to say something more strong, more like grip you and say like your value. Like look you deep in the eyes. You, the value that is you. The beauty that is, the beauty of your value, the beauty of you, that is transforming your life. It feels like your ability to feel loved inside yourself and have that be fully expressed outside of yourself too. So you're the sovereign of the seen and unseen worlds. I know I'm starting from the start again, but I think that's the kind of point, like you may have started something and only got halfway, or only got part way, and you're being called to start from the start again. You may feel a bit like a clean slate. I heard like a broken clean slate. Take that if it resonates. That's only for those that is like yes for. So, you are the sovereign of the seen and unseen worlds. The magic of love surrounds you. I love that. The magic that is love surrounds you. Beauty transforms you. Listen to the spirits of light. Abandon the darkness. Abandon that which is not right there for you in the way that you want, in the way that you feel like you want reflected back. Go beyond the ordinary and become the legendary. Awesome. I'm actually going to leave it there. Yeah. Unicorn. I love it. Yeah, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Infinite possibilities. I feel like at this time you're really connected to your own soul. Life may have felt like it really opened up in a new way to you. Like you lost something really dear that you were held on to, and because of that, where can I go now? Like if that's not my destination per se, what could be my destination? It's like you get to dream big. I heard again. You get to dream up. I don't want to put any words there. It feels best leaving it to you to fill in the blank. Okay, pile 3, that has been your reading. See you in another reading if I do. Much love to you regardless, and I'll see you in the infinite of existence. The camera just stays on as I move to the next pile. Bam, bam, bam. Wait, wasn't the first thing I saw with you Super Monkey Ball Death? Which is like, you get to continue. It's like you have experienced the death. And you're choosing to try again. Love a good retry. Love a good remembrance of the infinity symbol, the infinity expression, the infinite perspective. I really am getting hooked on perspective as of late. Nothing quite like it. Water. Oh yeah, it's you. It's Yui. Yui. Yuiga. Yuigaloo. Yasquiga. Gashmigaloo. Bigashkloo. Welcome in, pile 4. I'm recalibrating to your energy. I'm like resetting, or like I'm tightening the cogs or unscrewing some of the cogs of my brain. I'm really curious about your reading. I'm wanting to do really weird things with you, and I'm wanting to kind of intentionally spike myself. I don't know what that's about, but I can't do it on 2 of the corners of this card. I can only do it on the lower left and the upper right. Maybe what goes around comes around is significant for you. I can put this crystal in the direction of her hair, of the one that's out of place. Are you feeling out of place, but that it's actually something you can manipulate to your benefit? I don't want to put you there. I want to put you there. Which cards do you want to start with? I like asking you that. We could so go in any direction. Is something burning? That's what I want to ask you. Is something burning? We're going to draw. Because I'm looking at my cards and I'm seeing all of them. But kind of none of them. Wasn't that a message in the collective at the start too? Seeing all of them but none of them, and that was like a weird thing. Okay. Where are we going? You're creating out of that which shouldn't be able to be created out of. At least you weren't able to create from this place before. I feel like saying the messages might start out really bitty, but then they'll come to a whole, they'll come to a full circle. Oh, that was quite a nice circle. Sometimes the non-nice circles are what I really want, what I really love. But in this case, having a really clean, like, not old circle, maybe old circle. That's all I can say. So having the really clean old circle is what I want. And I said what goes around comes around. Are you experiencing something from your past? Something of old? Are you excited for it? Are you going on like a reunion date? Or are you going to like a party of all of the things you once knew? I feel like there's such inspiration here. But I think you don't know where to go. Who to go with? Or how much money to take with you. I'm trying to like analyze already. Like, how is this? Like, what is this? Like, if this isn't like physically the actual circumstance for you, what does this symbolize? And maybe even if it is the physical circumstance, still, what does it symbolize? I'm feeling a bit like saying, I'm drowning in the cards. Could that be you're drowning in the symbolism? You're drowning in all the ways that you feel like your life is showing you? There's something about allowing, like you're letting something. Yeah, that goes in different ways. Take that if that's your message. Otherwise, don't worry. Don't worry. I think that's a message for everyone here. I wouldn't tell someone not to worry though. Or at least I don't like the concept of that. In this moment. Okay. That's it for now. Why would I draw the whole thing and then draw a line down the center? That kind of feels like your experience. It's like you drew everything very, very long ago, and then you waited ages, and then you drew a line. Maybe not even waited ages, but after you experienced something, you then drew a line down the center of it. Okay. Let's flow with it. Flow with it till we know what it means. Oh, I'm feeling like cards aren't going to work for you. Prove me wrong. Go on. Is there a bit of like a competitive nature here? Prove it. No. Not the second time. So maybe this is like a what goes around comes around, something from your past is coming back up and you're gonna say no to it. And maybe there's a bit of like a, okay, but why, what's the point in it coming back around if I'm just gonna say no to it? What is the situation? I can't ask questions like that. That's even too specific. My favorite readings are those where there is no intention, which probably can be presumed by the look of my channel's video title names. 9 of Cups. Okay. Yeah, your energy is so open. Because that's what this whole thing about. I can't use cards or I can't ask questions. That's what it is. It's your energy of simply allowing. I think I can't even use words for you. It's too pinpointing. There's a small message for you, like you won't be able to reach what you're wanting to reach if you're trying to know what it is that you're really reaching. There's a sense of deep trust. I don't like the word deep there. Light trust. Yeah, light trust. Light trust for sure. I'm liking the cards you're getting. Why does that matter? Why does it matter what I like? I think that's even your energy. You're subconsciously or consciously saying, why does it matter what I like? I don't even feel like you're being called to really like think about that or anything. It's just it's flowing through. Ah, it's like a relief. Yeah. The star. Oh my goodness, I'm loving this. I think that is actually what the star is representing here too. Like really loving the power you're coming into, whether that be, I mean, not even whether, just the power you're coming into inside and out in every way. You're the student and the teacher of your life right now. You're both creating and allowing it to be created from and for you. Nothing is too much or too little. You've already found that which you're seeking. You already know that which you're seeking. You're feeling both in receiving energy of the magnitude that life has to offer you, and also so fulfilled by the giving of yourself, the fulfillment that comes from you being the fulfiller and receiving all that you have desired to be filled with. I want to say, I think I said that already. Nothing is too much nor too little. There's a sense of your wish is my command. Your wish is my command. 5 of Cups, why are we splitting to that? And then, this is so something from your past. Coming full circle and being in a full up level. You being in a full up level. Them being in everything. It being. There's such a sense of it. You found it. you found it. Oh, could this be something that actually you've manifested, but also like unintentionally manifested? It's intentionally, but it's also unintentionally. I think you may have set, like you drew your manifestation, drawing, however you want to take that. I heard lifetimes ago, but you may also want to see that being reflected in earlier of this life, perhaps. Take that as you resonate. But I'm going to say it again of the past life. So, lifetimes ago, you drew that which you would be experiencing later in this life, or in the part of your life you're now in. You already drew up the plan. You already drew up the experience. And you let it manifest when the time was right, from your ability to follow the footsteps, to follow possibly heartache even, to follow the past. It's like you followed the past. You followed the past. I'm getting strongly a sense of following. I'm seeing a whale, and the whale is you in another lifetime, but it's coinciding with this lifetime, so the whale is like swimming in the exact same place that you are right now. So it's a bit of a distortion to say it's of another lifetime, because it's right here, right now. You wished upon a star, and you already saw what you were creating, what you were desiring, and you did the work to relieve yourself of any attachment that would prohibit you from experiencing it. And now you're finding it again. It's such a co-creation with the universe, because it really is, you decided what you wanted to create, and then you allowed the universe to show you the way. It created it for you, but really you created it for you. And really, they're just the same anyway. You both played the parts that were unwritten. You filled in the blanks where the blanks were presented, but you also read the lines, read the staff note, learned how to read the paper, but also the music sheet, but you also played what was written when it was in time to be played. You followed the rhythm, and it brought you to this possibly clean slate, or possibly abrupt manifestation is kind of what I want to call it. What goes up must come down. There's a sense of you feeling that which you have created, and having such a like an unbelievable energy. Like, you might not believe it, but it's here. You might not believe it, but you have it. You might not have it, but you do have it. Or you might not believe it, but you have it. Or you might not have it, but you believe it. It's here. You get to experience this again. You always knew this day would come. You always knew this time would come. You always knew this being, this soul, this love, this life, this self would come, would exist, would be the reality. I heard a bit of like a cheeky energy from a guide saying like, so keep up, come on. Yeah, there's a sense of disbelief here. Like, it can't be. It can't be. With that, I really want to get the Sacred Geometry card. For some of you, I heard the words let go, so let go, and it will manifest. For some of you, it's like you're at the brink, and you're feeling like you're holding on with the knowing that if you let go, it will happen. And there's like a, like, I can't really do it, can I? Like, can I really? I adore that energy. There's such a disbelief here, but a full belief. It's like you'd only be saying like, I don't believe this, if you really did believe it. And there was just like a part of you that's like, no way. Realization. I love that. The frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in the world. I'm going to really hold that up in case you want to screenshot that, because I love that. I'm going to read it again. Yeah, without adding to it first. The frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in the world. Something you always knew was powerful. Something you always knew to be. Realization too is just like another word for manifestation. You're realizing something. You're bringing something into being. I kind of don't like that way of explaining it, but I think it fits for this energy enough to say. Enough for me to stand on. Enough for me to stand by. I can't remember what I was going to say, but it just feels so much like, you know, the ball is in your side of the court. What's that phrasing? You know, the racket is in your hand. I have no words for you. I guess let's move these to the left and get another card to go down here. Pop down there. Run along. You've seen it, you know yourself, and it feels like the opportunity that you know that you feel is right here. It feels like the opportunity to have it all. To have that which you saw, that you wanted so long ago, and that you're now remembering and seeing the reality of right in front of your eyes, or right in the eyes of your heart. We have mouse. Can I get confirmation on that? I'm getting like a no. I think that's what you're feeling. I think you're feeling a sense of being acutely aware, and yet not really trusting that awareness. Not really knowing if you can really have it. It's like you always knew that you would. You always knew that. But now that it's come to actually having it, there's a sense of, again, it's disbelief. Where's that disbelief coming from? Let's do that. Let's make this a reading. If feels weird for you. I don't know why. Why? Like doing a reading. Because I think everything's already here for you. I feel your guides. Ooh, you might be hearing your guides a lot. Or feeling their nudges. Or winks. Because I feel like they're going like, hey, it's here. Like, go on then. What did I want to ask? What, that sense of trepidation, like, what is that? Black Dragon from Saturn. Brings you wisdom through spiritual discipline. Concentrate, focus on your ultimate vision. Congratulate yourself, you have passed the test. Saturn. I mean, it is giving me Emperor vibes, but I don't think that's it. I think it's like a sense of you need to restrict yourself. Like, you feel like you'll always be in lack. Like, Saturn is, I'm gonna say it withholds, but not in the long run. So you may have lacked for so long that you feel like you don't get to experience pleasure. You don't get to have something you want because you know restriction so well. In some sense, you feel like you need to hold back from letting it all go, because that's what your entire reading feels so like for me. It's the essence of letting go. Letting go of struggle. Letting go of working, of being always one step behind. And actually being at where you wanted to get to, being at why you were working in the first place. I'm not going to pull him out, but I'm going to show him. Wolf, be independent but work together. There could be a sense of like having wanted companionship for a long time, but getting so used to being alone that it almost feels jarring. Like you closed off yourself, you became more solid in your own life. And again, there's that sense of opening the door, of releasing control. So, okay, so I think the reason why I wanted to put that back was that was still basing off the fear, and I want to give like a card for, okay, what are you being encouraged into? Did you see the way that came out? It like flew out, but like not a spiky kind of flying. It was like a gentle falling. A gentle gliding. Shark. Lead as a powerful, peaceful warrior. I don't think this will hit for everyone, but I heard when we say jump, jump. That also could be a bit for you, like the role you are taking on, in essence of you being the one saying, okay, when I say jump, jump. Like trusting that you have that authority. Okay, shark. It's that emotion again, or that, not emotion, I mean like, it's a sensitivity to the undercurrents of life, or it's a sensitivity to knowing where to go. A sensitivity to knowing what is right here, or what you can grab, this leadership. It's like knowing that you can take what you want, knowing that you're the like apex predator, you can feed, knowing that it's like allowing yourself to feed, allowing yourself to be top of the food chain, allowing yourself to not just feed on anything, but feed on the best of the best, or feed on with this realization card, that the highest expression of yourself in the world, like allowing yourself to feed on that which enables you to be your best self. Best being most you, the youest you. I really love the look of your spread. And I think the reason I'm saying that now is because actually I think it's done. I think there's no more to say. I feel like we just got there very quickly. And that might be how you're feeling. Like I feel like it took so long, but it actually came by in an instant. It's like it may have felt like a long time. Maybe it was a long I mean, time is just subjective anyway, but yeah, so what do I want to say about that? There's a sense that you feel like it both took ages and took no time at all. It's like now that it's here, you feel like you could have continued going for ages more. It's a sense of like you were asking for something over and over and over, and then maybe even feeling like, oh, I don't want to wait anymore. And then when it comes, you're like, I could have gone on for ages. What are you doing handing this to me already? I really think the word disbelief feels like it sums up your reading best. Actually, I don't. What do I think sums up your reading best? Love. But that sums up lots of readings best. You did it. Maybe that. You did it. You found them. You found it. You found yourself. I don't want to say yourself because this feels like a more tangible kind of manifestation. Yeah, I think it is. I'm grounding myself on that. It's like you found who you were always meant to be, and that aligns with a particular manifestation of yours. A particular intention you had, a particular desire you wanted to live out. Something you once thought was lost to the winds, but now you realize you do get to experience. And it's life-changing. That's why you're in disbelief, because it's not just something small, this is something big. I kind of want to say because you've become someone big. Big enough to hold this. Big enough to recognize this. The truth of this. Okay. It is a feeling that I want to end your reading from. Like, I just got a snapshot of being shown like a song that I really want to listen to right now, and it's almost like I'm dead set on ending your reading now. I felt the nudge too, but then because I felt the desire so strongly, like I just want to listen to it right now. That's what led to me being like, yes, it's definitely time to end the reading. So yeah, I'm gonna end your reading not necessarily because it's time to, but because I want to. Because there's something I want to experience. I love you so much, and I'll see you in another if I do. Enjoy your manifestation. Yeah, and if I don't see you, then I'll see you in the flow of the universe. Bye bye.